Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Sagittarius. If Sagittarius is your solar, lunar, ascendant/rising sign, then this is a message for you. Okay, let's get started. Let's check these tea leaves out. Oh, and here come the cats, if you can hear. They are knocking on the door already. I hope everybody is doing well. We are in the first day of daylight savings time. If you have that where you're at, you know that everything is kind of a little out of whack when we change the clocks forward or backwards. Okay, so we have a couple of goats, it looks like. Let me look at this one this way. Okay. Okay, Sagittarius. Let's go ahead and start with our goats because we have two of them. We have a goat here. This kind of smaller one. And then we have a goat that seems to be climbing this big mountain. And then the goat is up here. And you can see it's kind of at the peak, staring off into this emotional, psychic, spiritual, metaphysical area. Okay, and there's one little dot over there. So I think that, you know, it's clear to me that you are a person who is definitely in charge of a lot of things. Okay, I think that you are probably a bit of a caretaker in your family and maybe in your work, in your career field. You are probably the person who manages the household to some degree. But I'm thinking that even on more of a medical level, even, that maybe you oversee the care of a family member, a partner, maybe a child, or you work in maybe the medical field, maybe like a nurse, doctor, you know, what is like a NA or something like that. Okay, so I think that you excel in this because you really have climbed atop this mountain, and you've really applied yourself over the years. Okay, I think this has been an ongoing thing. Because of the posture of both of these goats, I feel that you feel fairly confident in the way that you manage things. You probably have, you know, educated yourself or been educated in all of the many little details and things that go into taking care of somebody, especially if it is medically and they have medical equipment, but also just navigating the temperament, the emotions, the needs, being in that position, having to anticipate all kinds of different crises or, you know, wants, needs, and so on. And I think that for the most part, you feel that this is your calling in life. I feel that you really usually enjoy this to some extent, but more so than that, it makes you feel like you're fulfilling your purpose. Okay. However, because I see both of these goats looking into kind of an abyss of like emotion, into the spiritual, I wonder if there hasn't come a point that you are almost kind of in a burnout phase, or feeling that you've been taken advantage of to some degree. Maybe you have not received care yourself. It's been very one-sided, or you're not having the support of your family. I'll give an example of something that kind of comes to mind is maybe like taking care of a parent figure who has gotten older, and you've kind of had to step up and be the person to manage a lot of that care. And maybe your siblings, or aunts, uncles, whoever it is, even maybe your parent's spouse, or whoever it is that is also involved. Maybe they have neglected their own responsibilities, or they have taken advantage of the situation, and really you are feeling kind of used. Okay, and this is kind of the scenario that I'm seeing in my head a bit, but it doesn't have to be these exact dynamics. Okay, but I do think that there seems to be it's coming to a point where you've given so much of yourself, it's interfering with your own life, and almost to the point where it's kind of like, who are you if you weren't taking care of this person or these people who, basically from the morning to night, you're managing things. And then on top of that, maybe working as well. Or this is your job. And well, we all know that anybody who works in the medical field is, they're worked ragged usually. And the compensation just is not there. Not only that, it can be a very emotionally, spiritually taxing profession, even in the best circumstances. Okay, and your ability to make decisions is usually pretty limited, because there's a lot of rules and regulations, rightfully so, but it also really sometimes can feel like your hands are tied in some situations where something would be a better way to go. So I feel like you're getting to a point where it's just starting to feel too much. Okay, and I'm gonna pull up this card and show you. We have the Hermit card, which is from the Thoth deck, okay? And I feel that this card has come up because of probably two reasons, at least two. But part of that is going to be that this feeling of kind of being, I feel like it's almost like a feeling of disillusionment, burnout, as I said, feeling very worn down, tired, maybe, used, not compensated well, or not given the appreciation that you obviously should have. Nobody is really very considerate of you as a being, and it really is kind of forcing you into this place of feeling alienated, okay, and also going into yourself. I think that you're probably not a very confrontational person. And so when these kinds of things come up, it almost seems easier to just kind of keep it to yourself, you know, keep your head down and just keep moving forward. Not complaining. There's nobody to complain to that will listen, or so you feel, right? And so it can feel like even if you are not isolated physically, even if you have people in your life, family, friends, community, I don't think that they all understand or give you the time to listen to how you're feeling. Not only that, it could be that they're not even checking in with you that much, okay? And because you have the energy of a person who gives of yourself, who is a person of service to others, I think that people maybe unconsciously feel like they can bring their problems to you, that you are somebody who can help mediate those problems, who can listen, because you're probably also a very good listener, but often neglect asking how you're doing, how you're feeling, what's going on with you, right? And that can start to feel, you know, it can feel really bad. I mean, really terrible, right? When nobody seems to have even a moment to check in, or if they are talking to you, they don't even ask you, how was your day? What happened today? You know, what's been going on with you? It's just straight into their stuff, okay? And, you know, we've all kind of been there at least once in a while, but I feel like this has really gotten into a heightened place for you. And it's something that you cannot ignore right now, okay? I feel that you're really in your emotions about it, and rightfully so. That's a terrible feeling. I do want to look at this this figure here, and this ties into this feeling that I have about you. It's that you are this almost kind of, you have this very nurturing, giving energy, like a parent, okay? And here's kind of, I almost get this like image of, you know, breastfeeding all of these, or, you know, what's the word? Nursing. My brain, nursing all of these wanting little, look at their arms are up. They're just like little baby birds, right? Just, or little animals just kind of whining and tossing themselves around, rooting around. And you can feel like you're just kind of a machine or something that, you know, is feeding everybody with your own vitality, okay? And, you know, if you've ever been a mother or father, you know that especially in those with your first child in those first months, it can be very, very isolating. You've never experienced anything like this, no matter how many books you read or what advice people give you. You're not really ready for the, you know, the zapping of energy and, you know, sleepless nights and days and hormones in both men and women. And, you know, just having to offer all of your time and focus and energy and care to somebody who is helpless, okay? And it's so 24 hours a day that it can feel so isolating, because if somebody else is not in that, they can't understand. And even if you're doing it with a partner or family members, it's always somewhat of a unique experience within those partnerships, right? So hopefully you can find common ground there, but and support each other, but it can still be very isolating. Okay, and so I just bring this up because I think that can definitely happen chronically when you are a full-time caregiver for somebody, you know, if it's a child, an adult, or an elderly person, whatever it is. It's, you know, even animals. I mean, if you know, care for a lot of animals, foster animals, that's a full-time job, you know, and so I feel that you just are in a place where I think that there's almost a sense of some kind of ending coming. And I think that I feel almost a sense of just being fed up, okay? But also feeling like you just don't really know what else to do with yourself. And that's kind of what is keeping you bound to the situation, okay? But I think that because of the way that you've been treated, you're not helpless, right? So I feel that you have been actively creating boundaries and really starting to take up for yourself, which, let me stop and say, I applaud you for that. It's not easy, okay? Especially if it's in your nature to be helpful to someone. And especially if the people or person that you're taking care of is not the problem, but it's the people around them, okay? Because that can be a heartbreaking dynamic to try to create those boundaries, stick to them, and then it ends up that maybe you won't be able to take care of that person anymore because these people will not abide your boundaries, and you just cannot abide them in the way that they are treating you. So I do sense that there's going to be some kind of ending coming, okay? And I don't necessarily mean that this is the end of you taking care of the person, but I think stepping back to some degree, an ending of this specific dynamic, okay? And especially if you are taking care of like your own child or an adult child, or like a spouse that is very sick. When I say an ending, I don't mean that this is you're cutting yourself off, you're walking away. That's not what I mean. But it could be if it is not a direct situation like that, okay? So, like I said, if this is maybe the company you're working with, maybe your client, your specific client, you might have to step away from this, okay? Due to mostly the family, I would say. And I think that really, honestly, as hard as this is, okay, I think that this is massively about your development. And I see this beautiful horse here in this beautiful, strong stance, okay? And not with the tail kind of up like that. Confident, okay? Going into this next cycle with full knowledge of self and what you're capable of, okay? You are a devoted creature. You have adaptability. You are, you know, a great problem solver, planner. You have the ability to follow through with things. And, you know, you don't slack. You don't mistreat. You don't, you know, skip over skip over things to do the easier thing, right? And that is a very unique and rare type of person. Okay, so I think moving forward out of the crisis zone of the situation, the chaos of the situation, you will only continue to be more confident, and these qualities that you have will only become more apparent. Okay, I think that you are going to start to apply them to other things. I think that you will continue to always be a caretaker on some level, but sometimes we have to shift those energies into other parts of our life, including taking care of ourselves. Okay, and you know, if we are privileged enough to be able to find help, or hire somebody to come in and alleviate some of the days, or, you know, have insurance, or find some way to get a little break here and there, I really think you should do that. Okay, I think that, you know, you don't always realize how run down you're getting. And when you just have even a little bit of space for yourself, I think that you're really going to thrive. Okay, and you're really going to continue to have more and more clarity. But I think at this point that you're at, you already know that something has to change, and you're not willing to do this anymore. And I think that's very important. Okay, and it does not matter. And let me say this very, very loud and clearly to you. It does not matter what anybody else thinks, okay? You need to take care of yourself before anybody else. And, you know, if somebody has something to say about that, they don't belong in your life, okay? Or they should not have a say, or they just need to mind their business, okay? Let's see. I think also, let's see. Let me look at these really quick. I want to show you these. We have a T and a T. Another T here. Let's see, another T here. So we have a lot of T's, okay? So I think somebody with a T name, they're important, okay? I don't know how they're important exactly, but I do see this little heart kind of over here as I'm saying this. It's right in the middle. I think that there is an amount of love, adoration, kinship there. It doesn't have to be romantic, okay? But I do think that there's care there. And I think this person is going to be supportive. So seek some, you know, support and love and uplifting kind of, you know, insights from this person, because I think they're going to be there to help you when you're feeling dragged down and unsure of yourself. This is the kind of person that you're going to text and they're going to tell you, no, remember yourself. Remember how you were feeling like a couple days ago, okay? Don't slide back into the dynamic that was going on before, okay? We also have an H, and there was another H. Where are you? This one. Okay, this is kind of scattered here, but there's an H here and there's an H here. So we also have an H person, okay, and that could be a first name, last name, career, or like a descriptive word for them. And I think this person is, this one seems like it might be somebody who is more along the lines of maybe romantic or maybe previously romantic, but they're in this emotional space into the spiritual. So I think this is somebody emotional here and spiritual here, also in the physical realm. So I think this is somebody who is really important because you have loved them or you love them You will always love them, and they will always love you. And I think that you have a deep connection with them. Doesn't necessarily have to be romantic, though. It could be like a family member or a best friend. But it's elevated from just an acquaintance or somebody, you know, that you're somewhat close with and support. Like the tea person, I don't think that's like a romantic person. I think that's somebody who supports you and speaks to you clearly and honestly, but is also kind, okay? But this H person, I think that's somebody that is a little more elevated, okay? And I wanted to look at this. This is now where we had that goat kind of on the mountain, but we also have a cat right here, and it's laying on its side, okay? And I think it's really just taking a nap, resting. I think that this is a complete, it's the largest symbol in the cup here, but honestly, just the clearest and most important, in my opinion, message that you need to take a break. You need to get some rest. And you know, we know that cats sleep during the day. They sleep all the time. So I hope that you are taking at least a day off somewhere coming up. Please do that for me. Take a day off. Sleep during the day. Take a nap. Okay? Don't feel guilty about it. I'll feel guilty about it for you. How about that? Okay? This is a time to really kind of restore yourself. And I think that's really important, okay? I want to look at, oh, and I was talking about the Hermit card. I just also want to say, I feel like the Hermit card was about you feeling kind of isolated, tired, you know, whatever, alienated by the situation. Also, on the flip side of this, I think that as you were coming out of this dynamic of being this like the main caretaker for somebody or within your job for multiple people, I feel that kind of being relieved of some of these duties, having a little bit more time for yourself, this is going to help you focus on that interior work. And I really think that you yourself are going to be a great support for other people who will be going through the same kinds of situations that you are. I feel that on some level, you're going to be kind of a revealer, somebody to help initiate people, guide people through navigating their emotions, setting up their lives in such a way that they can caretake, but in a healthy, balanced way, that there are the boundaries set up. There are limits on, you know, the time and energy they can put in, and also just navigating all of the things that go into taking care of somebody, especially if it's somebody at home. Like I said, a spouse that's sick, or a parent, or maybe you have a child or an adult child that has needed ongoing care throughout their lives. Well, you understand the systems. You have gone through a lot of different processes that other people are going to have to navigate themselves pretty much, or, you know, go online and you know, hopefully find something that gives them a little insight. Well, I think that in the future, you're going to be somebody that's going to do some kind of work or set up some kind of advice, maybe like some kind of advice column or nonprofit, or I don't know exactly, but I think that you will be there for other people who are going through a similar situation as you. Maybe even you'll be writing like a blog online or something, and somebody will find it, and you know, they are going to it's going to help them really find the information, get in touch with the channels that they need to, you know exactly what steps they have to take to do things, because, you know, especially if it's medical or, you know, educational or whatever it is, knowing the process of like getting people evaluated and, you know, getting a care plan in place and getting insurance involved, and, you know, I mean, it's just endless things. I think a lot of people that end up having to take care of people, they become almost experts in whatever specific thing that they have to caretake within, you know, whatever the disease or ailment or, you know, whatever limitation is. So I really think that this card kind of really points to that for me. Okay. I do think that looking at this, it's quite a bit of a path here. Okay. I think that, you know, within like anything else, but especially when it's a long-term situation. I mean, this is something you don't just fall out of it. You know, you've gotten into taking care of somebody, or this is your work and it's ongoing. So there are always going to be ups and downs, peaks and valleys, different things arising. And so I think that this is really, it's showing me that you're going to be working a lot on setting up, again, these boundaries that you have already started to put into place, but also having tough conversations. And I think, you know, probably looking for resources to have some kind of help, and, you know, having and being able, really, and also being able to trust that somebody else can come in and do some of the things that you are doing, because it's hard. It's hard to know that somebody's going to do it to the level that you expect. But I think on the other hand, you have to have a break, or you yourself are gonna, you know, need somebody to take care of you. So it's gonna be a lot of like weighing this option, that option, figuring out this and that, and that's gonna go on for a while. I'm not gonna say this is gonna be an overnight thing. Okay, so you know, take your time with it, do what you can, okay, and try not to you know, just let go of your aspirations of setting this up in a way that's going to be more sustainable for you. Okay. And like I said, please take a break, take a day off, and please take a nap. Really, honestly, I know it sounds silly, but, you know, even just being the mother of a toddler, and, you know, in our situation, she was born during COVID. So, we're, you know, we don't have family really around us. So we're the ones that take, you know, we've never been away from our child. So I get it. I understand how hard it is to kind of delegate and trust somebody else. And, you know, it's hard. Sometimes it almost feels like it's more work to set that stuff up, but you have to, so that in the long run you can get a little break. Okay. And I hope that you do. And I really want you to advocate for yourself. Take care of yourself. Don't run yourself into the ground. Okay, Sagittarius? Okay, I thank you so much for coming and watching this reading. I'm always so honored to be able to bring these messages to you. I hope that you're all doing well, and if you listen to this and it resonated, or you just like listening to it, please think about liking the video. It helps me get into the algorithm and grows the channel. If you are not subscribed, please think about subscribing, and if you hit the little bell thing, it will tell you when the next videos come out. Usually I'm on a schedule where they come out every 12 days. The next Sagittarius will be in about 12 days. But in the meantime, you can watch your other placements, okay? Other than that, if you want to leave a comment, I'd love to hear from you. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know if you get that nap in. And yeah, thank you so much. I will see you again very soon.